It's January 2021. We're here at Mission San Diego de Alcala today in the meditation garden just off of the church next door, and we're here to say goodbye to an old friend. Over here is a Canary Island date palm tree, which is now in its final stages of death. The tree is about 5 feet wide in diameter at its base, and the total height is somewhere close to 50 feet. This is an older book on the California missions that was published in 1980. That was 41 years ago. And I just felt it was important to show how huge this tree was way back then. So if that's the height back in 1980, our estimate is that this tree is at least 75 or 80 years old total in its present day. So we need to remove this 50-foot high dead tree. And that poses a problem because we're in an enclosed quadrangle. We have the historic Mission Church behind me. We have the historic bell tower to my left, the garden wall, the religious education building, and it's probably going to take a crane if we want to get this entire tree removed out of this space. So what actually killed the tree? It turns out there's an infestation in Southern California of the South American palm weevil, which is a beetle. And that insect colonizes the palm tree, the female lays eggs, and the larvae feed on the palm heart, which is at the top or the crown of the tree. And at this point for our tree, the damage is too severe for insecticide to save it. And this has been going on for several years in San Diego, dealing with these beetle infestations in palm trees like this species. This is what the tree looks like from a distance. You can see how sickly the palm fronds or leaves are. This is an example of a healthy Canary Island date palm tree. And you can see the crown, how well rounded it is, and how good the color is as well. So since we're saying goodbye to this old tree, I'd like to offer up a poem written a century ago by someone named Joyce Kilmer, actually a man who died in World War I. In 1914, he wrote a poem called Trees, and it's probably his most famous work. Here's what it says. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow is lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. It's now a few weeks later, February 4th, 2021. The professionals and experts are arriving and setting up their equipment. And that is the giant chainsaw that's going to do all the work for us here today. SoCal Tree Care is the contractor who's handling this project for us, and the owner Vicente Cortez will be on site here today. So while the tree specialists study their tasks ahead, we're going to check in with the one person overseeing all operations today, Mission San Diego's Ricardo Jauregui.
Hi, I'm the facility manager here at Mission San Diego de Alcala, and my main concern about taking this tree down is our safety of our workers and our safety of our buildings.
Here the tree trimmer is just doing some preliminary work, hooking up various ropes and equipment for his use later on.
There's two ways to take this tree down, and one of them is cutting it in pieces about 2 to 3 feet down and drop them to the floor. In this case, we have to get a crane to get this big palm out of the way without damaging our grounds, without damaging our property.
Speaking of the crane, here it comes now. The contractor is Brewer Crane and Rigging, and Scott Rhodes is the field superintendent. Scott told us that this is a 140-ton crane, meaning it's capable of lifting up to 140 tons. This is a mobile crane which goes to job sites for specific tasks. They also operate stationary cranes like the ones used to build skyscraper buildings. Scott says that less than 5% of their work involves removing trees, but they're still very experienced at it. As we can see, it takes a long time to set up for a job like this. They need to level out the crane before any of the actual work can begin. This is an awesome sight, and I'd like to talk to any high school students who might be watching this video. A lot of you wonder why you have to grind through all those math problems in your homework every night. Well, look at this real-world problem in front of you now. A crane is being asked to lift a huge amount of weight on a sloping surface, and to do this while not damaging historic buildings just 20 feet away from where the cut tree is. It's all just mathematics and physics. The science, technology, engineering, and math experts are all trained problem solvers. An engineer had to design the crane that could safely remove thousands of pounds from this confined space. A computer hardware specialist had to build the crane's onboard computer system. And a computer programmer had to write the software instructions so the crane would perform what the operator tells it to do. So your studying STEM subjects will help you become a well-paid problem solver too. You can see the crane bringing in the straps that will lift the tree, which the workers on the ground are now holding on to. That raises the other point I would mention to high school students, the importance of teamwork skills. Here you see a member of the crane service coordinating with the tree specialists, working with each other to secure the tree for being lifted up once the tree is cut. This is very dangerous work, and someone can get killed if something doesn't go right. Everyone has to know what the others are doing. No matter what field you go into, the ability to work with others is critical, and especially so when matters of safety and liability are in play. All right, we are now ready for the show to begin. We're watching a tree surgeon, Arturo, perform his specialty. Look at the pure joy of a job well done. I have never seen a tree fly before, until now. Amazing. From the computerized equipment on the crane, they were able to tell us that this segment of the upper tree weighs 8,300 pounds. That's the weight of 2 or 3 cars. Now the tree's crown and stem are laying on our driveway, and it looks like a giant beached whale. The arborist is going to want to examine it and then have his crew cut it up and haul it away. Our thought now is that this tree is probably between 80 and 90 years old and close to 60 feet long. Is that the way it works? From the center it hollows out?
Pretty much from the they'll start from the metal stem, and they'll start tunneling inside. So it gets to a point that, I mean, it'll die within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I guess there's times that, man, this area is all gushy. I mean,
Oh yeah?
yeah.
Big hole right there.
There's a big hole right there.
You can see that's still green, but look at it.
Just rotting away.
Oh yeah. Look at the holes right here. Look at the holes.
Fantastic. Wow. That's Mother Nature in action.
Look at right here. See?
Wow. Do they tunnel the same way that termites do?
Look at. So they tunnel all the way in the fronts. You can see. But it's pretty much on all of them. That's how it's going to be.
The crane is now back in place, ready to continue the job at hand. Okay, we're back for round 2 of cutting the tree trunk down. This is still very dangerous work, as there's thousands of pounds still up there in that trunk of the tree. This is the final piece of the tree trunk we are taking down. Everything's continuing to go really well. Once a tree is cut down, you have several options. You can cut the tree stump at ground level, or you can bring in a stump grinder which removes even the roots below the soil level. But in our case, our facility manager has made a different decision.
Now the tree is gone, but not forgotten. We're honoring it by leaving its tree stump there and putting a nice plant on top of it.
The potted plant we selected to go on top of the tree stump is something called heavenly bamboo. And we picked that because, after all, this is a church. It's been an amazing day, and we want to thank everyone at SoCal Tree Care and also Brewer Crane Rigging for the outstanding job all of them did, keeping everyone safe and not damaging any of the historic Mission buildings. Mission San Diego de Alcala is open every day of the year for tourists and visitors, and Mass is offered several times every day as well. We hope to see you soon.